Europe, Austria, Vienna, world capital of classical music, world cultural heritage of UNESCO, inherently linked to European classical tradition. From Bach to Mozart, from Beethoven to Schubert, and from Brahms to Strauss. This is where more than 175 years ago an instrument was created that became the synonym for Viennese culture of sound and acknowledged worldwide as being the ultimate instrument for interpretation of piano music, the Bösendorfer Grand Piano. Bösendorfer instruments are built by hand in Vienna and in Wiener Neustadt, a town not far away. The wood is cut exclusively during the winter months and first aged for 5 years in order to achieve the correct humidity and stability for its future sound quality. Bösendorfer is the only piano factory in the world which dries its wood in 2 phases, first outside and then inside. This guarantees the outstanding quality, the individuality, and the distinguished sound of every single instrument. It takes hundreds of little steps to create the Rolls-Royce of the pianos. The heavy cast-iron frame, which must maintain the constant tension of the strings, is fitted individually and quite meticulously by hand. Each frame is subjected to hand sanding, drilling, and fine finishing with clear lacquer. Each grand piano is given its own unique work number, allowing Bösendorfer to document the progress of each piano during its production and therefore maintain its individuality. Maintaining this traditional practice for over 100 years allows us to always know origin, style, and type of construction of all the pianos built in our factory. One of the most important factors contributing to the superb tonal qualities of Bösendorfer pianos is the construction of the rim section of the casework. Using a special technique, the rim is bent and formed around the body of the piano by hand, which ensures maintaining the optimum resonance of the natural material. The soundboard bridges of all Bösendorfer pianos are carved by hand. The soundboard is the heart and soul of each grand piano. The ribs, which are of different lengths, help to form the special curvature which is required to provide the necessary upward force in order to balance the downward pressure of the strings. Another example of the exceptional quality of the Bösendorfer is the individual fitting of the steel strings with a hand-tuned loop. These strings are produced in our own string-making department. Bösendorfer piano action and keyboards set new standards. The quality of the design and manufacturing techniques leaves the pianist in total control of dynamic response, repetition, and touch. befitting the actions. The high levels of skill and craftsmanship of the men and women who work on the instruments is of greatest importance. Their unique knowledge, shown by the care, preciseness, and sensitivity gained through years of experience, provide the backbone for the highest musical levels of achievement. The Bösendorfer staff are not only using modern equipment and state-of-the-art techniques, they are not mere craftsmen, they are artists. Ever since the factory was founded, we have manufactured more than just standard instruments. Many special and limited edition models have been made from the most precious materials. They have become a legendary part of our tradition. The beginning of the technical adjustments. Intonation or voicing is when the individual hammerheads are treated to provide each instrument with its ideal color of sound. Each Bösendorfer has its own unique sound, which is developed and produced by our most experienced concert technicians. Innovation and constant improvement are essential for continuous development and perfection. Bösendorfer's piano manufacture was founded in 1828 by Ignaz Bösendorfer. His son Ludwig took over in 1859, and it was Ludwig who led the company to worldwide fame. In 1909, Karl Hutterstrasser took over from Ludwig. All three owners were deeply implemented in the cultural society of Vienna. Famous composers, such as Franz Liszt, were personal friends of the Bösendorfer family, and spectacular events in the legendary Bösendorfer Hall further helped to establish the fame of Bösendorfer throughout the world. In 1966, the Habig family, later known as Kimball International, bought the company. Today, Bösendorfer is owned by an Austrian group of banks highly praised for their cultural ambitions, the BAWAG PSK Group. The 175th anniversary of the Bösendorfer Piano Company calls for us to reflect on artists who played and loved Bösendorfer pianos in the past, and on those who still play and love them today.
Bösendorfer is my favorite. Is mein Favorit.
Es ist der einzige Flügel, den ich kenne, der
It's the only grand piano I know that's as loving on stage as in your home. I have one at home and I couldn't exist without it.
Ich habe einen in meiner Wohnung und ich könnte ohne den Flügel gar nicht existieren.
Bösendorfer sind Vertreter der
Bösendorfer are ambassadors of Austrian musical culture. There has been a development which I would like to call the beautiful singing and the thunderous piano sound.
Wenn es sein muss, auch donnernden Klavierton nennen möchte.
It's the piano of my choice. I've chose the Bösendorfer because I could best say what I wanted to say musically on that particular piano.
Because for me, the piano is a total orchestra, you know. I approach the piano from the African tradition, you know. And it's ironic the things I can do in the very base of the piano. I can create sounds of thunder. I create the sounds of the drum, you know. But the piano, for me, it just has such a wonderful, warm spirit.
The Bösendorfer permits to have a really fat sound.
Oh, that's one of the greatest pianos in the world.
On this great, big, beautiful piano, please put your hands together for my right hand and my left, Mr. Peter
The sound of it is just like almost like singing in front of an orchestra.
All I knew was when I touched her that she became my friend. And it's not as if it were one piano. It's any Bösendorfer seems to have some kind of understanding. They can speak and they can listen. And I think when you play them, you become an extension. They give you the opportunity to anyway. If you don't choose to have a relationship, an affair with them, then that is your loss, I guess.
There are numerous activities today at Bösendorfer. The Bösendorfer Concert Hall is a highly demanded platform for young artists. Merchandising products like the deluxe edition coffee table book Bösendorfer, A Living Legend, and the Habig Foyer. Bösendorfer and the world of electronics. As early as the 1980s, Bösendorfer was leading the world with production of its player piano, and still today the redesigned Bösendorfer computer grand pianos are said to be the best in the world. Bösendorfer's latest product line, quality outstanding hi-fi, including loudspeakers, amplifiers, and CD players. Today we continue the tradition of producing special edition models like the Vienna, the Classic, and the Chopin. The Vienna Musikverein, prestigious stage for the two major piano competitions, the Bösendorfer and the Beethoven competition, held every 4 years. They are an important stepping stone for the most talented young pianists throughout the world. Let's close with a quote of Diane Reeves. What a great big beautiful piano.